Welcome to Quiz Time. I'm your Quizmaster Sean, and I've got 100 questions for you. General knowledge stuff, arts, entertainment, history, mathematics, engineering, you name it. Let's see what we know. Let's keep those brains working, shall we? And let's have some fun. Beginning with question 1. The Latin name for the sage herb is Sagandula, Salvia, or Ocimum. The Latin name for the sage herb is Salvia. Lipizans are white horses. Is that true or is that false? I've seen Lipizans. I think they're white. False. Lipizans are born dark, have black skin, and turn gray. True white horses are born white with unpigmented skin. There we go. The earliest recorded instance of the name Vladimir is a man from. Is he from Russia, Ukraine, or Bulgaria? First recorded instance of the name Vladimir. It's a Bulgarian name in origin. Shetland sheepdogs were once known as Shetland collies, miniature collies, or Shetland herders. Shetland sheepdogs were once known as Shetland collies. The largest Flemish giant rabbit can weigh nearly 50 pounds. Is that true or is that false? That's a mighty big rabbit, you know. But it's true. It's a big bunny. What is a type of feldspar? Atticite, moonstone, or feudalite? A type of feldspar. Moonstone. In the 19th century, backgammon superseded what game in Europe? Chess, nardi, or trick-track? And it replaced trick-track. The McClellan saddle is the longest used military saddle. Is that true or is that false? The McClellan saddle is not the longest used military saddle. It's the British Universal pattern saddle. False. The Battle of Alberta refers to the rivalry between which two National Hockey League teams? The Calgary Flames and Edmonton Oilers, the Calgary Flames and Calgary Wranglers, or the Calgary Flames and Calgary Broncos? And that refers to the Calgary Flames and Edmonton Oilers. The Rock of Gibraltar dates back to the Jurassic period, the Mesozoic period, or the Cretaceous period. The Rock of Gibraltar. That dates back to the Jurassic period. Screenwriter Herman J. Mankiewicz based the first outline of Citizen Kane on William Randolph Hearst, and this stayed in the final draft. Is that true or is that false? That's false. Orson Welles rewrote the script, basing Kane on Hearst, as well as Joseph Pulitzer, Samuel Insull, and Harold McCormick. The recommended thread count for cotton sheets is 100 to 250 threads per inch, 200 to 600 threads per inch, or 400 to 800 threads per inch. It's recommended to have 200 to 600 threads per inch. What is the rarest black hole? Stellar mass, a supermassive, or an intermediate mass black hole? And let's see, the rarest kind is an intermediate mass black hole. In 1981, Maybelline adopted which advertising slogan? Maybe she's born with it, maybe it's Maybelline. Maybelline, Maybelline, ooh la la, or what a difference Maybelline makes. And that phrase was Maybelline, Maybelline, ooh la la. True or false? In the 1600s and 1700s, corsets had a more conical shape and were called stays. Is that true or is that false? And that is true. A fro is a variant of the afro, a tool used for cleaving wood, or a small shoe. A fro is a tool used for cleaving wood. The first time blockbuster was used to describe a film was in 1950, 1946, or 1943. When was the first time the word blockbuster was used to describe a movie? It was 1943. Serious is derived from a Greek word meaning canine. Is that true or is that false? And that is false. Serious means glowing or scorching. The island of Principe is where? In the Gulf of Guinea, in the Gulf of Mexico, or near Portugal's northern coast? The island of Principe. That is in the Gulf of Guinea. What city is also known as the Blue City? Jodhpur, New Orleans, or Ipoh? The Blue City. And that would be Jodhpur. This Mary Roberts Rinehart novel is considered the source of the Butler Did It plot device, the circular staircase, the door, or K. And that novel is The Door. As of 5 February 2024, Jupiter was known to have how many moons with confirmed orbits? 36, 21, or 95? So far, we've found 95. The Chinese four holy beasts are the dragon, the chillin, the turtle, and the phoenix. Is this true or is this false? And that is true. In the language of flowers, the lily of the valley means sweetness, purity, and humbleness, hope, safety, and good luck, or rebirth, renewal, and hope. In the language of flowers, lily of the valley means sweetness, purity, and humbleness. What was the top hit of 1956? Elvis Presley's Heartbreak Hotel, Doris Day's Que Sera Sera, or Gogi Grant's The Wayward Wind? That would be Elvis Presley's Heartbreak Hotel. True or false? Sivi Pacem, Parabellum, if you want peace, prepare for war, is an adaptation of the treatise De Materia by Roman author Publius Flavius. You read it. All of that is true. That's a lot to say. The Perfume Wind Song was created in 1952 by Ernest Beaux, Edmund Rodnitska, or Prince Machiavelli. The Perfumed Wind Song was created by Prince Machiavelli. The brachial artery supplies blood to the lungs, or does it run along your tricep, or is a major blood vessel that supplies your upper arm, elbow, and hand? The brachial artery. That artery is a major blood vessel that supplies your upper arm, elbow, and hand. True or false? A Texas Ranger was purported to ride like a Mexican, track like a Comanche, shoot like a Kentuckian, and fight like the devil. Is that true or is that false? That's true. Gogi Grant provided the vocals for Anne Blythe's portrayal of the title character in the Helen Morgan story. Is that bogus or is that true? And that's true. HEMA stands for Historical European Martial Arts, Hemorrhaging from Exterior Major Artery, or Help Endangered Marine Animals. The acronym HEMA. And that stands for Historical European Martial Arts. How many constellations are there in the northern and southern skies, respectively? 42 and 23, 36 and 52, or 34 and 50? There are 36 and 52, respectively. Toucans are frugivorous. This means that they are frugal with the resources, eat mushrooms, or eat fruit. Frugivorous means they eat fruit. Frugivorous. In China, bats symbolize bad luck and disease, mystery and longevity, or good fortune and happiness. In China, bats symbolize good fortune and happiness. Ronald Colman, William Powell, and this silent film star were called the Three Musketeers: John Gilbert, Richard Barthelmess, or Warner Baxter. Who's the third musketeer? And that would be Richard Barthelmess. The silent generationers were better known as the Beat Generation, Beatniks, or the Lost Generation. That silent generation is also known as Beatniks. Who wrote "The air was so soft, the stars so fine, the promise of every cobbled alley so great"? John Kerouac, William S. Burroughs, or Allen Ginsberg? And that turn of phrase was written by Jack Kerouac. The Tamara Mayo is generally translated as a treatise on cats, but it is also referred to as the Cat Cookbook, the Practical Book of Cats, or the Cat Book Poems. That would be the Cat Book Poems. Croquet became a highly popular social pastime in England during the 1960s, the 1860s, or the 1970s? Croquet became highly popular in the 1860s. Taijutsu is a form of jujitsu. Is that true or is that false? Taijutsu? That would be false. Taijutsu is a symbol of Chinese philosophy. The first feature-length movie titled Fast and Furious came out in, was it 1927, 2009, or 1939? It came out in 1927. Which war poet wrote the sonnet High Flight? Richard Eberhart, E. Cummings, or John Gillespie Magee Jr.? The war poet who wrote the sonnet High Flight, John Gillespie Magee Jr. The Nebraska sky disk is attributed to the Uintas culture, the Minoans, or the ancient Celts. The Nebra sky disk. The Uintas culture. The earliest evidence of horse bit wear is from the Botai culture of ancient Kazakhstan and dates back to 3500 BCE. Is that true or is that false? That is true. Tap dance was originally called, was it steppin', jiggin', or tap steppin'? Originally, tap dance was called jiggin'. What is the largest waterfall system in the world? Angel Falls, Conefafing Falls, or Iguazu Falls? Iguazu Falls. The largest waterfall system in the world is Iguazu Falls. A frog can amplify its croak so it can be heard half a mile away. Is that true or is that false? And that fact is false. It can be heard up to a mile away. They most certainly can. I have them. Bridge is a derivative of whist, la triomphe, or cribbage. Card game bridge is a derivative of whist. Auroras have been observed on every planet in our solar system except Jupiter, Mars, or Mercury. Which one has not had northern lights observed? That would be Mercury. Acupuncture first became popular in the US in, was it the 1960s, 1990s, or 1970s? When did acupuncture first become popular in the US? That would be the 1970s. The meaning of drift, in the sense of get my drift, began in the 1520s, the 1950s, or the 1980s. And that was the 1520s. It's been around a while. In 1988, Gloria Estefan and her band Miami Sound Machine earned their first Billboard #1 hit with Anything for You. Is that true or is that false? That's true. The smallpox vaccine was invented by Edward Jenner, John Hunter, or Lady Mary Wortley Montagu? Who invented the smallpox vaccine? Edward Jenner did. Not counting transmitters, what is the tallest structure in France? The Eiffel Tower, the Millau Viaduct, or the Tour First? That would be the Millau Viaduct. The Price Tower in Bartlesville, Oklahoma was designed by Louis Sullivan. Is that true or is that false? And that is false. Frank Lloyd Wright designed the Price Tower. Royal Albert bone china had an increase in popularity in Britain in the, was it the 1930s, 1950s, or 1940s? And it was in the 1930s. The national diet is an informal name for the UK's sugary drink tax. Is that true or is that false? And that is false. The national diet is the national legislature of Japan. Edwin S. Lowe popularized what game? Mahjong, bingo, or rummy? Edwin S. Lowe popularized bingo. The Antikythera mechanism was a solar-powered ancient Greek clock. Is that fact or is that fiction? And that is fiction. It was a hand-powered orrery. During the 1930s and 40s, Joan Blondell co-starred in 9 films with, was it Glenda Farrell, James Cagney, or Dick Powell? And that was Glenda Farrell. What are the names of the Katzenjammer kids? Hans and Fritz, Max and Moritz, or Hans and Franz? The Katzenjammer kids were named Hans and Fritz. In 2021, which country produced 64% of the world's hazelnuts? Was it Italy, was it the United States, or was it Turkey? Producing all those hazelnuts was Turkey. NASA spent millions developing a pen that could be used in space. Fact or fiction? Millions developing a pen that could work in space. Who would do that? That's actually fiction. Who bought the Hope Diamond from Evelyn Walsh McLean in 1949? Jean-Baptiste Tavernier, Henry Philippe Hope, or Harry Winston? That would be Harry Winston. The producers of the American TV series Here Come the Brides said this film was the show's inspiration. Westward the Women, Here Comes the Bride, or 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. And that TV series was 7 Brides for 7 Brothers from 1954. The Meiji era lasted from 1912 to 1926, 1868 to 1912, or 1600 to 1868. The Meiji era lasted from 1868 to 1912. Neanderthals, were they archetypal cavemen? Were they used Mousterian stone tools? Or were they generally over 5 foot 8 inches? Neanderthals used Mousterian stone tools. In 1980, the Denisovan Shia mandible was found in Baixia Karst cave by a Buddhist monk, hikers, or Dong Guangrong. That mandible was discovered by a Buddhist monk. Tap dance is a mix between Irish and Southern African American step dances, Irish step dance and ballet, or vaudeville step dances and Irish jigs. What is tap dance a mix of? Irish and Southern African American step dances. The tips and heels of hard shoes made for Irish step dances are made of fiberglass. Is that true or is that false? That is true. Tokyo's original Imperial Hotel was designed by, was it Yuzuru Watanabe, Frank Lloyd Wright, or Marion Mahoney? Tokyo's original Imperial Hotel was designed by Yuzuru Watanabe. Star charts from around 964 CE label the Andromeda Galaxy as a nebulous cloud, Abd al-Sufi Nebula, or Little Cloud. And it was labeled Little Cloud. One of the Osaket's ancestors is it the Ocelot, the Abyssinian, or the Margay? One of the Osaket's ancestors is the Abyssinian. A four-sided dice is called a quadradron, a tetrahedron, or a quadradron. It's called a tetrahedron, a four-sided die. Prise de feu describes a move in, is it tennis, chess, or fencing? Prise de feu refers to a move in fencing. Garrett Morgan invented, was it a blowtorch and motorboat engine, a sewing machine and typewriter, or a smoke hood and two-way traffic lights? Garrett Morgan invented a smoke hood and two-way traffic lights. Arthur C. Clarke credited this author with the first description of rocket-powered spaceflight and with the invention of the ramjet. Cyrano de Bergerac, Jules Verne, or Thomas J. Kelly? And that would be Cyrano de Bergerac. In 1822, Kirkdale Cave was found to contain the fossilized bones of wolves and Irish elk, coyotes and ground sloths, or hippopotamuses and cave hyenas. In 1822, that cave was found to have In the 1950s, stovepipe was a popular name in trade magazines for the automatic headlight control, the ramjet, or the turbojet. That would be the ramjet. Who played the title roles in the 1936 film Three Smart Girls? Judy Garland, Nan Gray, Helen Parrish, Barbara Reed, Nan Gray, Deanna Durbin, or Deanna Durbin, Helen Parrish, and Marsha May Jones? And that was Barbara Reed, Nan Gray, and Deanna Durbin. The medical term for seeing stars is photopsia. Is that true or is that false? And that is true. Italia means calfland, wolfland, or land of italics. Italia means calfland. The British slang word tickety-boo means all right, okay, lickety-split, or see you later. The British slang word tickety-boo means all right, okay, tickety-boo. Gray whales are gentle giants that never fight even if attacked. Is that true or is that false? And that is false. In the past, whalers called them devilfish because of their aggressiveness when hunted. I would hope so. Cluster headaches are usually sudden and last between 15 minutes and 2 hours, dull and constant and on both sides of the head, or mild to moderate and feel like something is squeezing the sides of the head. Cluster headaches. They are usually sudden and last between 15 minutes and 2 hours. What mythical Greek huntress couldn't resist golden apples during a race? Artemis, Atlanta, or Andromeda? And that mythical Greek huntress was Atlanta. Stars are huge celestial bodies made mostly of ice crystals and helium. Is that true or is that false? And that is false. They're made mostly of hydrogen and helium. In 1952, Eugene Kolke created the official mascot of Kellogg's new breakfast cereal, which was it Tony the Tiger, Katie the Kangaroo, or Elmo the Elephant? It was Tony the Tiger. He's great. Fat Frumos is a Romanian folklore night hero, a town in Bulgaria, or a stock character of Romanian humor. Fat Frumos. That would be a Romanian folklore night hero. Ich is short for Ichthyosaurus, short for Ichthyophythrus multifilus, or another word for the yid. It's short for Ichthyophythrus multifilus. In cheskers, a variant of checkers, each player begins with a bishop and a camel. Is that true or is that false? Cheskers. That's true. Orson Welles' 1938 radio broadcast of War of the Worlds caused mass hysteria in the U.S. as people thought that it was an actual news event. Is that fact or is that fiction? And that is fiction. The supposed panic was immeasurably tiny. Newspapers covered the story, hoping to strike a blow against their competition, radio. The Stegosaurus' spiked tail is called is it a spicati, a dentifobber, or a thagomizer? That spiked tail is called a thagomizer. Jack Kramer ushered in the serve and volley era in tennis. Is that true or is that false? And that is true. The formal name for the gherkin in London is Swiss Rebuilding, London's Pickle, or 30 St. Mary Axe. 30 St. Mary Axe. The Don River was known to the Greeks as, was it the Tanais, the Maesian River, or the Scillies? The Don River was known to the Greeks as Tanais. Soccer player Alfredo Di Stefano played as was he a defender, a mezzala, or a forward? Alfredo Di Stefano, he was a forward. Loretta Young received the Academy Award for Best Actress for her role in the 1947 movie The Farmer's Daughter. Is that true or is that false? And that is true. The first animated dinosaur was the one that appeared in the 1933 cartoon King Klunk, starring Pooch the Pup. Fact or fiction? And that's false. Gertie the dinosaur was the first, made in 1914. And now question 100. What was the first European hard-paste porcelain called? Medici, Meissen, or Chelsea? The first European hard-paste porcelain was called Meissen. And there you have it, 100 general knowledge questions. Thank you for playing Quiz Time. Don't forget to drop your score in the comments, please. Like, subscribe, ring that notification bell so you never miss Quiz Time when we come out with another one. Hey, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.